Salut tout le monde, and welcome back to the podcast de Philippe. For today's deep dive, we're teleporting ourselves straight into the heart of CES 2025. It's day 3, and we're focusing on two of the most talked about trends, the rise of robots and the explosion of AI-powered health tech. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and see what the future holds, make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Now let's dive in. It seems like every company this year is obsessed with tracking our every move, heartbeat, and even hormone level.
Yeah, it's truly fascinating to see how technology is becoming increasingly intertwined with our health and well-being. From robots that can assist us in our daily lives to devices that monitor our bodies in unprecedented detail. CES 2025 is showcasing a future where technology plays an even more integral role in how we live and understand ourselves.
Okay, so first up, let's talk robots. CES seems to be absolutely overrun with them this year.
Absolutely. And what's exciting is that these aren't just gimmicky toys. We're seeing robots designed for very specific purposes, with impressive advancements in functionality and interaction. Take Samsung's Bally, for instance. It's no longer just a cute rolling robot, but a sophisticated personal assistant that can manage your schedule, offer opinions, and even project entertainment onto your walls.
Imagine you're relaxing at home, and Bally turns your living room into a personal movie theater. It's kind of like having a super efficient entertainment-savvy butler at your beck and call. But Samsung is being strategic with its rollout, launching Bally first in the US and Korea.
That's a smart move. They're likely targeting markets with high adoption rates for smart home technology, testing the waters before a wider release. And while Bally focuses on the home, Enchanted Tools is taking aim at more practical applications with their humanoid robots, Maroka and Maroki.
Right? These robots are designed to work in busy environments, like hospitals, restaurants, and stores. They've made significant progress in speech recognition, web connectivity, and even their ability to describe their surroundings. They're not just performing tasks, they're interacting with the world around them in a much more nuanced way.
It is remarkable how quickly this technology is evolving. But let's not forget about Romi, the conversational robot from Japan developed by McAfee. This one wants to be more than just a helper. It aims to be your friend.
Now that's an interesting concept. Romi takes a unique approach to conversation, engaging in complex dialogue without needing to take turns speaking. Imagine having a robot that can jump into the conversation naturally, offering comments and insights based on what it senses.
It's like having a friend who's always listening and ready to chat. But what I find particularly reassuring is that McAfee emphasizes user privacy, ensuring that Romi's conversations stay private. With AI becoming more integrated into our lives, data privacy and security are crucial considerations.
Absolutely. Speaking of tracking our lives, the health monitoring devices at CES this year are, well, I don't want to say mind-blowing, because our listeners know I overuse that word, but let's just say they're incredibly impressive.
It's a bit overwhelming, isn't it? We're seeing a wave of devices that can track everything from glucose levels to hormone fluctuations, all from the comfort of your own home.
Let's start with Abbott Lingo, a continuous glucose monitor that's generating a lot of buzz. Although I'll admit I'm a little hesitant about the idea of inserting a sensor under my skin.
I understand your hesitation. It's a new concept for many, and any procedure involving needles can be daunting. But for individuals managing diabetes, this technology can be revolutionary. Imagine having constant insights into your blood sugar levels, allowing you to make informed decisions about your diet and medication in real time.
It's like having a fuel gauge for your body, helping you maintain optimal energy levels throughout the day. But Abbott Lingo isn't the only player in the continuous glucose monitoring game. Dexcom's Stilo was actually the first to market, and their recent partnership with Aura, the maker of the popular smart ring, is a game changer.
This partnership means you can now get a much more holistic view of your health, combining blood sugar data with sleep activity and other biometrics, all from a single device. It's a powerful example of how different technologies are converging to provide a more comprehensive understanding of our overall well-being.
It's like having a personal health coach right on your wrist. Let's not forget about Connect Pulse, a device that takes blood pressure monitoring to a whole new level.
Connect Pulse looks like a regular blood pressure cuff, but it does so much more. It measures things like arterial stiffness, which tells us about the flexibility of our arteries and provides crucial insights into cardiovascular health.
So it's not just about knowing your blood pressure number, but understanding what that number actually means for your overall heart health.
Exactly. It's about empowering individuals to take proactive steps to manage their health, potentially preventing serious issues down the road.
Now let's shift gears and dive into the world of hormones with Eli Health's Hormometer.
At-home hormone monitoring is gaining traction, and the harmometer makes it incredibly easy to track cortisol and progesterone levels with a simple saliva test. No more doctor's visits or lengthy lab tests. You can get detailed insights into your hormonal health right from your home.
It's amazing how technology is putting more control into the hands of individuals. And Vivu is taking at-home testing even further with their suite of women's health tests, which includes a fertility test that checks for follicle-stimulating hormone and vaginal pH levels.
It's empowering for women to have access to this kind of information easily and discreetly. They can track their cycles, plan for pregnancy, and even gain insights into potential fertility issues early on.
It's incredible how far we've come from the limited options available just a few years ago. But with all this personal health data at our fingertips, it raises some important questions. How do we interpret all this information? How do we act on it? And perhaps most importantly, how do we ensure our privacy is protected?
Those are all critical questions, and they lead us perfectly into the next wave of innovation we're seeing at CES, AI wearables that are always listening. This is where things get really interesting, and perhaps a little unsettling for some.
I'm definitely intrigued and maybe a little apprehensive to see where this goes.
We're talking about devices like AI's Pioneer, a $50 wearable that records and processes your conversations to provide to-do lists and summaries of your interactions.
The idea is to create a truly personalized AI assistant that understands your routines and anticipates your needs. But the always-on recording feature definitely raises some eyebrows.
It's a valid concern. Are we comfortable with a device constantly listening to our conversations, even if it claims to prioritize privacy? This is the big question that each user will have to grapple with. And AI isn't the only one pushing the boundaries in this space.
All right. There's also Omi, a wearable, worn as a pendant or on your forehead, which also continuously records conversations. And their ambitions go even further.
Omi's goal is to eventually offer AI clones of users. Imagine having a digital version of yourself out there interacting with the world. It sounds like science fiction, but the technology is advancing rapidly.
That's a fascinating and slightly terrifying thought. But before we dive into the potential implications of AI clones, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Or perhaps I should say, the failed pin on the lapel.
You're talking about the humane AI pin, of course. Its launch was a disaster, failing to live up to expectations and raising serious concerns about data security. It's a stark reminder that not every innovation is a success, and we need to be cautious about rushing into a future where AI is constantly monitoring our every move.
It's a cautionary tale, for sure. So these new wearables like Omi and AI's Pioneer are trying to learn from the mistakes of the past and offer a more refined and user-friendly experience. The question remains, are we ready for a world where our AI assistants are always listening, always learning, and always a part of our lives?
It's a question each listener will have to answer for themselves. But one thing is clear. The line between technology and our lives is becoming increasingly blurred.
And as we continue our deep dive into CES 2025, we'll explore the implications of these innovations and what they mean for the future of health privacy and even our social interactions. But for now, we'll take a quick break and be right back with more insights from CES.
It's certainly a thought-provoking concept. The idea of a digital version of ourselves interacting with the world raises a lot of questions about identity, authenticity, and even what it means to be human.
It's like something out of a science fiction movie. But it's becoming a reality right before our eyes. But before we get too deep into the philosophical implications of AI clones, I want to bring up a company that's taking a slightly different approach to AI wearables. They're focusing on on-demand assistance rather than constant recording.
You're talking about Natria Humana and their human pods, right?
Yeah.
It's a more measured approach, perhaps
Yeah.
in direct response to those privacy concerns we were just discussing. Instead of always on recording, human pods are wireless earbuds that activate their AI capabilities with a simple double tap.
Exactly. So the user is in control of when and how the AI is engaged. And they've developed these really interesting specialized AI personas for different needs. There's Athena for fitness and health, and even Hector, an AI therapist.
It's like having a whole team of AI specialists at your fingertips, ready to offer advice and support whenever you need it. You could have your fitness coach in one ear and your therapist in the other.
I have to admit, I kind of love the idea of having an AI therapist on call whenever I need a little pep talk. But it does make you wonder, are we becoming too reliant on these digital assistants? Are we at risk of sacrificing our own critical thinking and decision-making skills?
That's a valid concern. It's a delicate balance between harnessing the power of AI to improve our lives and maintaining our own agency. But on the flip side, imagine the possibilities if these AI personas can actually help us live healthier, more productive, and more fulfilling lives.
It's definitely a double-edged sword and something we'll need to navigate carefully as AI becomes more intertwined with our everyday lives.
One thing that stands out to me from this deep dive into CES is the sheer pace of innovation. It's both exhilarating and a bit daunting to see how quickly technology is reshaping our world.
It really feels like we're on the cusp of a new era, and CES is giving us a glimpse into what that future might look like. A future where robots are our companions, AI is our advisor, and technology helps us understand and manage our health in ways we never thought possible.
But with all these advancements, it's crucial that we don't lose sight of the human element.
Absolutely. Technology should be a tool to enhance our lives, not define them.
And as we wrap up our exploration of CES 2025, I think it's important to reflect on what all of this means for us as individuals. We're bombarded with information about these new technologies, but the real question is, how do we want to integrate them into our lives?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. With all this incredible health data and AI assistance at our fingertips, it really makes you wonder what it even means to be healthy in 2025 and beyond. Is it just about optimizing our biometrics and following the advice of our AI health coaches?
That's a question worth pondering. Perhaps true health in this new era encompasses more than just our physical well-being. Maybe it's also about our mental and emotional well-being, our ability to navigate this increasingly complex technological landscape, and our capacity to maintain our privacy and autonomy in a world of always-on connectivity.
So it's not just about the numbers, but about finding a balance between embracing the potential of technology and preserving what makes us uniquely human.
Precisely. And that's a conversation that we need to continue having as these technologies evolve and become more integrated into our lives.
Well, that brings our deep dive into CES 2025 to a close. It's been an incredible journey exploring the latest innovations and pondering their implications for the future.
It's always fascinating to see what's on the horizon and to imagine how technology will continue to shape our world.
A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their insights and helping us make sense of this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the future. We hope you found it informative, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Be sure to subscribe to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube for more deep dives into the world of technology and its impact on our lives. Until next time.